Last week's pattern, I ended up with some half square triangles. Today's video, I am going to show you how to use those triangles and the rest of your scraps without knowing quilter's math. This will be a beginner-friendly addition too. We will get a little fancy, but it's simple once you get the hang of it. I like to keep all my scraps separated by collections. Then once they get low enough, I'll throw it in a catch-all tub. Here you will see I have an assortment of leftover backing fabrics, oops blocks. I even have an oops from last week's pattern in here. I have binding strips, layer cakes, 5-inch squares, even off-end bits. It's all random, and with the large pieces of the leftover backing fabric, I am thinking borders. Borders are perfect for those backing scraps. Sometimes they can even be good for a pieced backing depending on the size quilt you're making. Basically, what I'm telling you is we have a lot of options here. Now, to start a project, you want to figure out your main quilt blocks. It can be as simple as cutting solid pieces of fabric that are all the same squares. However, we have those half square triangles. First, you're going to want to trim the half square triangles to all of the same size, which for me, I was able to trim them down to a 4-inch square. Now that all of our half square triangles are the same, start playing with them. Half square triangles are very universal. You can even look up a few patterns on Pinterest to get some more ideas. For me, I am going to go with pinwheels and an on-point square, or diamond, however you look at it. I am able to make a total of 9 quilt blocks. So I'll start by playing with a layout that I like, which will have me sewing a total of 5 pinwheels and 4 on-point squares. Once you have a block you like, then you're going to sew those half square triangles together into a row, and then lastly sew the rows together to complete a larger quilt block. From here, you can now measure your block and then cut print squares at the exact same size and then alternate between the two. But I once again want to use more of my scraps. I have leftover 2.5-inch strips from the same background fabric, which I am going to add sashing to space everything out. If you have 3-inch strips, that's fine. If you have 4 or 1-inch strips, that's fine too. As long as you have enough to add sashing in between the blocks and rows, you are perfectly fine. To figure out how much you will need, first measure the length of your quilt block and then cut strips at that length. Mine is 7.5 inches long, and I need a total of 6 between each blocks. Since we are working with a lot of numbers, I like to keep notes on the side saying half square triangles are 4 inches, my blocks were 7.5 inches, and I'm also using 2.5-inch sashing, because you'll never know that down the line you might need to know this information. Which next, once all those pieces are cut for my sashing, you'll sew the blocks and sashing into a row. Now you could leave it here and then sew all your rows together. However, I still have more 2.5-inch strips. So let's repeat that same process by measuring how long our row is and then cut our strips at that exact length. Then once they're cut, sew all of your rows together and sashing strips to complete this stage of your quilt. Once again, you could stop here, but let's use more of that fabric from my tub. When doing sashing, some quilters like to add an exterior sashing border, which is what I'm thinking of doing. And to make it simple, since my inside sashing was 2.5-inch strips wide, I am going to do the same thing on the outside. So going through my scraps, I have some layer cake squares that I can at least cut 4 2.5-inch by 10-inch strips from. I also have leftover binding, which I cut my binding at 2.5 inches wide, so that's perfect as well. And once again, looking back at my notes, my blocks were 7.5 inches square. And layer cakes are 10-inch squares. So going back, I can cut 4 2.5-inch by 7.5-inch rectangles. And that right there, I like that idea. So I started to count how many strips I'd need to go around my entire quilt just to see if I have enough, which I will need 12. So that means I will need to use 3 layer cakes if I want it to look all the same. Of course, this sashing border could also be scrappy, so as long as you can go through your stash and cut 12 2.5-inch by 7.5-inch rectangles, that's perfectly fine as well. But luckily, I have 3 of this less busy print that I can use. And since we once again added sashing that was 2.5 inches wide, I am going to cut 2.5 inches square to place between my rows, which was that area where the sashing connects the blocks and the rows together. Because the layer cake is going to be the size of the block, and then we need that extra square to cover that sashing bit between the rows. I hope that makes sense. Now the only thing you might forget is you need corner squares as well. So that means the amount of squares that I need total will be 12 as well. And I'm going to cut those from leftover binding strips since they need to be 2.5 inches square. And I'm going to go ahead and cut all that off of camera. And now that everything is cut, I like to piece my sides together first. And this is the layout. Our block length first, which is 7.5, then the sashing square, then a block, then a square, and then lastly a block. And you'll sew them all together to create a pieced border sashing. And because we have 2 sides, you need to make 2 of them. And here you can go ahead and sew it to your quilt now, or it can wait, it doesn't matter. But now we also need to make the top and bottom. So this time you're going to start with a square for the corner, and then a block strip, which is 7.5 inches long, a square, a block, a square, a block, and lastly a square. And then you're going to sew all of those together and once again make 2. And now this is when you need to for sure sew those side pieces together first, and then the top and bottom strips. And that's a fun little scrappy sashing piece that you can do. So going through my stash, I have once again many of these large leftover pieces from backings, which I'm going to add a border. Now the border width can be whatever size you like. I am going to go with 3.5-inch wide strips, because I have 2 chunky pieces that if I cut them in half, I will end up with 2 3.5-inch wide strips per each chunky strip, which is perfect because I have 4 sides and that would mean I would get 4 strips. Now once again, this could be 4 inches wide, 2 inches wide, 5.5 inches wide. It's whatever you have. And that way, these strips, I will utilize it all as I basically took the width of them and divided in half, and that's why I have 3.5-inch wide strips. That's simple. And with those pieces cut, I will once again sew the sides together first and then the top and bottom. It's a basic border. And right now you could go ahead and stop because this would make a perfect baby size quilt or a wall hang. But let's keep going as I do have more of that chunky background fabric. Next, my brain was thinking of using a 5-inch border. That way I could use a layer cake and cut 4 5-inch blocks for each corner. And then that would mean I would cut 5-inch wide strips for the sides. And playing with that leftover 10-inch square, I wasn't a fan of the print with this busy matching dark blue print. Then I remembered I do have leftover 5-inch squares in my tub, so I started going through all of them. And I thought maybe a scrappy cornerstone border where each side is a different print, or use 2 prints and make them opposite sides different. However, this yellow print I had exactly 4 left over. Now remember, since I want to use 5-inch squares, for the corners, I need a matching 5-inch wide strip for the sides. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut those strips out. Then to measure how long a strip's length we need, you're going to take your quilt and measure its length. Now do this to all 4 sides, as they may all be different if you're not a perfect piecer. I'm not, and one side was like 35.5 inches long and others were like 35.25 inches long. But either way, once you have those numbers, cut those 5-inch strips to the length that you need. And then here is the layout. Very similar to your first sashing border, and that is sew the sides together first. And then for the top and bottom piece, you'll sew those squares to the left and right side of your strip. And once again, make 2 of them. And then you'll sew them to the top and bottom of your quilt. Now here is where I'm going to stop, as I have another large piece of backing scrap left over, which at this size it will be enough. Technically it is slightly more than I need currently, but if I add another border it would be like 1 or 2 inches wide, which I wasn't a fan of since it is also this blue feather print, and I kind of thought that might look weird. So that's why I'm going to personally stop here. But you can keep going and add on to your heart's content. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and quilt it using the same feathery blue print but for the backing, and also use glide threads in the color Sky Blue. And here is what my quilt looks like all quilted out. I also use leftover binding pieces that matches those smaller border sashing squares. It's that same exact yellow print. And for my long arm quilters, I used Fabulous Feathers, which I will link down below in the video's description. And quilts like this are also perfect to practice custom quilting if you want to try that on your sewing machine. It will give you a lot of variety to play with, as you have your half square triangles, you have sashing, and then a different print sashing with cornerstones, a nice long border, and then a big chunky border with those cornerstones. It does give you a lot to play with. But either way, this quilt will be for sale on my website, which I will link below. I also have more quilts for sale. And use the code BIGNEWS in all caps to save 20% off of everything, even t-shirts. Code expires May 31st, and I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial using your scraps without knowing any quilt math. If you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.